Welcome to the 2022 United Way of the Black Hills Month of Caring kickoff. I'm Anna Hamlin from News Center 1. I had the honor of taking a brief break from forecasting and reporting in our community, and I'll be your MC for the afternoon. We have a great program for you today, and in a little bit, we'll be hearing from our Rapid City Mayor, Steve Allender, on why the work United Way is doing is so important for our Black Hills community. Throughout the program, we'll also hear from some of our sponsors about why it's important for them to support our community through the United Way. Without their support, United Way couldn't have produced this great event where over 750 individuals from across the Black Hills will be helping their community through volunteering activities all month long. Like this example from my current employer, News Center 1.
We are the only locally owned and operated television media group in the entire state of South Dakota. It's our responsibility to be a true community partner and stand with organizations and people that try to make a difference and make our home a better place.
Now we can get to hear from another one of our signature sponsors.
United Way gives back to the communities no different than what WARF does. So whatever we can do to help support the families within the communities is part of the way United Way helps us be a stronger community, a stronger company.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to two very special people that I've gotten to know very well over the past year. Lauren Ebert is from Live Hospitality and is the board president of United Way of the Black Hills, and Jamie Tennis is the executive director of United Way of the Black Hills. They're going to be sharing some of their thoughts on the future of the Black Hills region, of course, and the role that United Way has to play in our development.
I know at this point I don't know if it's videos, is it people, what's going on? All right, hi, I am Jamie Tennis, Executive Director for United Way of the Black Hills. I want to welcome all of our United Way friends in the room, our longtime donors, our volunteers, those who are also watching us online and on TV, thanks for joining in. And I'd also like to welcome those of you who are new, and this might be your first time attending our luncheon and participating in Month of Caring. It is such a pleasure to be in the same room with you guys again after 3 long years. So, a lot of people might not know this about me, but I like to play pool. Some might even call me a pool shark. And it's not just, a little hobby playing here and there. I actually play pretty competitively, play in tournaments, state. I'm the state champ right now, and even played in Vegas and got 5th in Vegas. So there's an expression called being behind the 8 ball, and it started in pool, but it's really expanded into everyday language. It really means that you're in a difficult spot. And it comes from the game of pool, conveniently called 8 ball. There's 2 players, one has solid balls, one has the straight balls, and the point is to make all your balls before your opponent makes theirs, and the 8 ball goes in last to win the game. But here's the catch. If you accidentally hit the 8 ball early, that's a foul and you lose your turn. And if you hit the 8 ball into a pocket early accidentally, you lose instantly. So, if you are stuck behind the 8 ball, you are in a bad spot. You're probably going to miss, and you might even lose the game. Thus, it's a really bad spot to be in. But on a deeper level, it's about planning for the future. See, a good pool player doesn't just take the first shot on the table they see. They look around and see what's going to set them up for the next shot and the next shot. A really good pool player, they're going to have a plan to make all 7 of their balls before they even take the first shot. It's all about planning. You have to plan for the future to win at this game. That's what we strive to do at United Way. We invest in programs and nonprofits today that is going to have an impact in our community tomorrow. In 2019, we conducted our needs assessment. You can see it, and I welcome you to go to our website to read more about it. In it, why did we do our community needs assessment? Well, we had to understand what were the greatest needs in our community because they do change over time. And the community entrusts United Way with your dollars to make a difference, to invest your dollars as efficiently and wisely and effectively as we can. And thus we need to know what are the greatest needs so that we can invest in those programs that are making the biggest difference. So here's an example. Our needs assessment found that for every 610 residents in our state, there's only one mental health professional. And that was pre-pandemic numbers. We know our population is increasing. It is a fact. And as it does, this disparity is going to get worse and worse. Unless we anticipate these needs and make plans now for our future, it's going to get worse. We're going to be behind the 8 ball. Some might even argue we're already behind the 8 ball, and we are going to be even worse off. So, United Way stepped up, and thanks to your generosity, we started our mental health initiative. We've been able to get even more resources and funding to nonprofits that are working in the mental health arena. They'd already been working in there doing amazing things, but by giving them more funding, more resources, they can do even more. We're also going to be launching a program called Everyday Strong this fall, which will help build resilient kids and stronger communities. We know that food, sleep, shelter are critical for children. Heck, if kids at school and they haven't gotten a good night's sleep or and they have a hungry belly, they're not going to be able to pay attention and do well. So we know we have to provide those things. But in addition, kids have other needs that are just as important. They need to feel safe, they need to feel connected, and they need to feel confident. These foundations of emotional health need to be met for kids to thrive. Our Everyday Strong program is going to be a toolkit that provides adults, any adult in the Black Hills, with the tools they need to provide that type of support for our kids, again, to build resilient kids and thriving communities. Here's another example. Let's check out a story of a person from the Black Hills who is able to receive support and make significant progress in her life thanks to your generosity.
Melissa came to us that she was suffering. She had a number of health issues, some mental health issues as well, some medical issues that she was dealing with. And when she came to see us, she was homeless. She was living sometimes in a tent, sometimes in her car, and she had multiple kids and no employment. Came to us really kind of at the end of a rope.
If people are struggling in one element of their life, there's possibly other elements as well. And the beauty of working with United Way is that we've got these collaborations with so many of the nonprofits serving our community that those connections are just a natural part of the work that United Way does, and truthfully a natural part of the work that our nonprofit partners do.
Unfortunately, Melissa's story isn't unique. And here at the Community Health Center, we see cases like this and patients like this every day. And so our staff here is really good at identifying those issues and kind of digging a little deeper than you probably would see in a standard clinic and trying to figure out exactly beyond just those basic medical issues what's going on.
The United Way always wants to make sure that we are investing the community's resources into the greatest needs that the residents here in the Black Hills are facing. The stigma for seeking help is out there and it is real, but what we really want people to know is that it's okay to ask for help. We all need help at certain points in our lives. And through the wonderful partners like Community Health Center, it's possible to seek that help. And so there's help out there through our great partners and organizations like 211 that we partner with, calling them, letting them know what you might need help with, and then they connect you with multiple nonprofits or others who are able to help.
beyond dealing, obviously, with the basic medical issues that she was dealing with, like you would do in any other clinic, we basically set her up with our case manager, who got her established with reaching out to a lot of other United Way sort of partners, Feeding South Dakota, and starting getting her some food, Love Inc., Dress for Success program in terms of starting to get her some clothes, and really kind of setting her up so that she was on the road to success, not only medically but personally. Yeah, she's one of those great success stories, and that I think thanks to our intervention, as in the team here, that they've got her stable housing. She's now got employment, mentally and physically. She's in a much better situation, and so it all kind of plays together. You can't just deal with one thing; you're going to deal with it all if you're really going to have true success. And that's the great thing I think that we do here at the Community Health Center. The United Way, it's a great place to contribute because...
And are continuing to grow and projecting to grow. Our cities, counties, state are investing in updating and expanding our infrastructure for all of us to be able to live comfortably. Roads are being built and expanded, water and sewer systems updated, and the strategy is not to just build what we need today, but to build for what we're going to need in the future. Black Hills Energy is one of our signature sponsors. They are always thinking of the future and the expanding power needs of the communities that they serve. Take a look at how Black Hills Energy is investing in the future of the Black Hills through United Way.
We encourage employees to give to United Way because they do a great job. They're a great benefactor to the communities that we serve. In fact, they tend to be the largest contributor to those in need, so our dollars go a long way to make a big impact on our communities.
Investing in your community is the same thing. Physical infrastructure needs to grow, and so does our human infrastructure. If we need wider roads for another 30,000 to 40,000 people in the next 10 years, then we're going to need a mental health care system robust enough to handle that many more patients. If we need water supply for 250,000 people, then we also need to make sure that everyone has enough food. And here's the big question, guys. Where in the Black Hills are all of these people going to live, right? We're actually here, we're helping with that too, and we're gonna continue to scale those efforts to ensure everyone has an affordable place to call home. Today we're kicking off our fundraising season, and our goal is to raise over $2.1 million by December 31st. It's a pretty big goal. We're still feeling the impact of the pandemic and beginning to feel the impact of inflation. That means that more people than ever are relying on our nonprofits to keep their families fed and roofs over their head. The population grows, the needs grow. Now more than ever, the Black Hills needs the generosity of its people. There's an advantage when you actually give to United Way. Your donation is multiplied through a combination of grants, volunteer mobilization, and nonprofit relationships. We've crunched the numbers on this, and for every dollar you donate to United Way of the Black Hills, we are actually able to invest $1.75 back into the communities. So I'm gonna ask, what do you want for the future of the Black Hills? I would like to encourage each and every one of you to scan the QR code on your program or text UWBH to 40403 or visit our website to make an investment in your community. The future is coming. Will you guys be ready? Thank you.
Thank you both to Jamie and Lauren for those wise words. It's time to hear from another of our signature sponsors, which is Synchrony Financial.
At Synchrony, cultivating a culture of caring to support our people, partners, customers, and community is core to who we are. We are proud to partner with the United Way of the Black Hills to help our neighbors build a better life for themselves.
Up next, I'd like to introduce the Mayor of Rapid City, Steve Allender. Mayor Allender has been serving his community since 1985. As a mayor of Rapid City since 2015, Mayor Allender has had a front row seat in the needs of our community and how the United Way has stepped up to meet the plate. Please join me in welcoming our Mayor, Steve Allender.
Sorry about that, Synchrony. Well, I'm glad to be here today. Glad to be here standing in a huge room with hundreds of people, mostly who are all dressed alike. It's good to be somewhere with a lot of people in person. So now I'd like to ask you to very sneakily peer out of the corners of your eyes at all those weirdos not wearing United not in a judgy way. Well, anyway, thanks for being here. These are the type of things, these are the type of events, and frankly, the type of organizations that help to keep fuel in the tanks of elected officials and other community service providers, and you know, it's inspiring to see you all here. It's going to be especially inspiring to see all of you out raking leaves or cutting grass or whatever you're about ready to do. You know, the schools, there's 13 school buildings closed today because of the heat, correct? I have a problem with this. The kids are soft today. When I was a kid, no, I remember this. When I was a kid, we were in those hot classrooms. The windows were open, it was 100 degrees. We had to swat the wasps out of the, classroom and stuff. It was terrible, which was very odd because also in my memory on those same days, we walked to school in a blizzard uphill. So anyway, listen, United Way of the Black Hills is a big deal. It's a big deal in Rapid City, in the Black Hills. It's a big deal for our region, for our state. And it seems like they have an impossible task of coordinating the multitude of community resources, including the funding of volunteer and other important nonprofit organizations, and applying these efforts and these partnerships in a way that avoids duplication, gets the most value for the dollar, and makes the most impact on our community. Well, it seems like it would be an impossible task, especially considering our community, which is located on our side of the state. And Western South Dakota people are extremely independent. Okay, we do things ourselves. We don't like to ask for help. And so this permeates how we do business all across the board. But the United Way of the Black Hills community needs assessment. Jamie talked about it a little bit, but she's not really given it the proper due. This is a very impressive process that United Way went through. It's been especially helpful, maybe even transformative, on making sure that donor funds go to the right places at the right time. It's very, very impressive. I think we should just give United Way one more quick round of applause. Nice job. You know, I've always valued the idea of community. And when I say that word, I just don't mean a city or the people in that city. I mean the thing that happens when citizens start to share values, start to look out for one another, start to care about the social and overall welfare of their fellow citizens, their neighbors, and also for the people who visit us here. As far as Rapid City, we are a community that was founded on failure, rebirth, hospitality, and service. In 1874, Custer's expedition discovered gold. And the word got out very quickly, what with text messaging and whatnot. And so by 1876, there were as many as 900 people had come to the Rapid City area. And they found out that while there was, in fact, gold in them thar hills, it just didn't happen to be right here. It was way over there by Lead. And so the people here, the original settlers, were really torn. They didn't know if they should go try to get rich on gold, but they just couldn't bear to leave this beautiful part of the country. So they decided to stay in true Western South Dakota. That's where the Western South Dakota mentality was born, by these stubborn 900 people who knew that they came here and missed out, and they decided to stay and make the best of it. They knew that the real gold miners, the successful gold miners, were going to need tools, supplies. They were going to need entertainment, recreation, and so, and you can imagine what that means in 1876. They were going to need all the types of things to get rest and relaxation, so they decided to provide those services. Rapid City was just too nice to leave. By 1876, Rapid City was officially settled. A bunch of people, I imagine, wearing cowboy hats and so on, marked off the borders of the 1 square mile of Rapid City and named it Hay Camp. And the nickname given to Rapid City around that time in history, though, was Gateway to the Black Hills. So now they were trying to attract tourists. These were the roots to Rapid City, our roots. A city that exists, and I would say a larger community in the Black Hills area exists to serve other people. Of course, some years before all of this, the Great Flood occurred. The receding waters washed all of the good dirt over to East River because God knew those people couldn't do anything with a challenge. So anyway, they have rich farmland over there and left us with the shale and clay, and we said, that'll be just fine. We can raise cattle out here, and we can entertain our friends who come from around the world. So, more affirmation of the West River way of life. I'm proud to be a part of this city, and I always have been. And this coming from a guy who spent 30 years in a career only meeting all the bad people. See, I was a policeman before. Get it? Well, my job was to meet all the bad people. I never had a meeting with a group of investors or economic developers. So anyway, I'm proud to be a part of the city. I've grown to have a great deal of pride in it as well. And I suspect you have some pride in it too. You have pride in your own communities, and that's why you're here today. You may have heard recently that I'll be stepping down as mayor at the end of this current term, and that sometime in the future, I don't know, maybe 305 days from now. And at that time, I will have completed 8 years as Rapid City mayor. And although the last 2.5 years were fairly brutal, I'll look back in my life at this time, these last 8 years of my life, and I'll be very proud and I'll be very grateful that I got to spend that time meeting all the good people, people like you. So thanks for that. Now, I think Jamie has some questions for me now.
Want to get in the chairs and get a little comfy?
Sure.
Because I'm going to grill them. All right, Mayor. Well, I'm glad that we didn't meet back in the police days. Thank you again for being here. I do have a few questions that we've heard from audience members and those that people were curious about. So first, we've talked about the issues United Way is focused on based on our needs assessment, things like early education, affordable housing, food security. Why is this work important from your perspective?
Well, not only is it important, it couldn't be more important. In World War II, there was a study done of 5.2 million draftees. And of those draftees, 36% of them were determined to be unfit for military service, and they were rejected. A later study would conclude that many of these rejected draftees suffered from the effects of malnutrition. And if you could imagine, these draftees were toddlers or grade school age when the Depression started. And that event and that phase in their life had lasting effects and kept them from protecting our nation and helping our allies. So in 2000, and then in 1945, President Truman, based on these results, started the school lunch program to make sure that American boys and girls would at least get one good meal during the day. So although it seems like a long time ago, there was the identification of a problem and a solution was proposed and implemented. So now in 2009, another study concluded that 75% of Americans 17 to 24 are unfit for military service. Today, that number is over 80%. Put another way, of the 36 million Americans aged 17 to 24, 28 million of them cannot serve in the military if they wanted to. So, this is fast becoming a national security issue. A list of 90 former generals, admirals, military officers, and senior enlisted concluded that the primary issue could be addressed with early childhood education. So again, the government identified a problem and proposed a solution. So why hasn't the solution been implemented on a wide scale? Well, it's because it's lost in the political war that's raging in our communities. It's become a political issue. So ironically, the main opposition to the idea of early childhood education is the same political persuasion that also purports to support a strong military. So it doesn't make any sense. There's a lack of understanding about the effects of children raising themselves in a community and being underskilled and underdeveloped in a way to serve in the military or to hold otherwise productive lives. So there's a lack of understanding, and it's our duty to bring about that understanding. And United Way has been the leader in the early childhood education effort in this area. This community must support United Way as they pursue these efforts. Now locally, of course we don't have our own military, but locally we see the same effects from a lack of childhood education, from a lack of proper guidance when kids are growing up. But we see it in terms of a rising crime rate, a crime rate that's been making the news almost every day over the last year or two. And we are beyond the time where we can implement a short-term solution. We're in this for the long haul. And I think it's fair to say that this can't be solved without all of us. And it can't be solved without people like you supporting United Way when they try to help implement the solution. So it's vitally important, could not be more important.
Thank you, sir. So that kind of goes into my next question. There are many groups in the Black Hills region that are working on these issues. We've got things like cities, like Rapid City and many others in the Black Hills that are building affordable housing. Local companies are investing in the mental health resources for their employees. Economic development and area chambers are starting to make that connection between childcare and workforce. And everyone in this room is supporting the role that volunteerism can play to improve our community. So talk a little bit about why does it take all of us to make a positive impact? Why can't one organization or government, local government, do it alone?
Well, first of all these are good signs. They're good signs that our communities across the nation are realizing there's a need to change, and that there's many different ways to address the problems they have. And it's no surprise that the problem that a major employer in Rapid City has is the same problem that major employers in other cities are having as well. So I'm glad that we're doing this. But although it may be in our Western DNA to do it all ourselves, that's really impossible. And we need to get behind the organization that can bring us together on an issue, an organization that collaborates and builds partners and has important standing in the community and influence that can help get these things done. Every time someone on a team tries to do everything themselves, they hurt everyone else on the team. So we have to get out of the way of our Western thinking and stop trying to do things alone. There are many organizations in this room that could band together and build the dream team of people who are going to tackle this community's challenges and the communities all across our region and across our state. No government official is going to be the savior. No one person is going to have a dramatic influence on this. This is all of us, and that's who the team needs to be. So that's what I hope for us.
Nice. Do you think community members and businesses should play a role in that work and improving our communities in the Black Hills in the coming years?
Well, absolutely. There's no question about it. Deepening our roots. We're a region that's got roots in serving other people. We need to deepen those roots and branch out. So we're on a plant analogy now. We need to branch out, and we need to remove the weeds, and we need to make sure we get plenty of water and sunshine, because everything that grows only grows in a good environment. This idea of helping the community, I think on our agendas every day, every month, should be something we can do to help make this environment, this community, a better place. Because even the best business will not survive in a bad environment. The best citizens cannot thrive in a bad environment. And so it's up to us, because guess what? We're the environment. We're in charge of how things are in our communities, and we have so much more influence and power on that note than you can ever imagine.
So some of you are possibly literally removing the weeds this afternoon. Thank you. So, everybody in this room is here, and we so appreciate you being here and stepping up to be a part of Month of Caring. What is one thing that everybody in the room can do, and those especially watching on TV as well, to make our Black Hills community a better place?
Well, I think the answer is right here in front of our noses, but sometimes that makes it hardest to see. I'll put it to you this way. One thing we can do is to give. If you have money, give money. If you have time, give time. Believe it or not, many people gave all of you many things to help you achieve whatever level of success you have achieved today. They gave of themselves so that you could thrive. And so we can give to someone else who needs our help. Secondly, we advocate. We have voices. We need to stick up for our communities. We need to stick up for our youth and stick up for all the good things we want to see in our communities and in our environment and for the people that live here. Speak out, take action, let your voice be heard. And finally, volunteer. Someone needs your time. Someone needs your counsel. Someone needs your example. And they need something of what you have in your heart. I'm confident guessing, that not all of you showed up today because there was a t-shirt involved or there was a photo op. Well, I did, but I'm a politician, so. But Anyway, they need some of you in their life. So figure out a way to give, advocate, and volunteer.
That is lovely. You know, so many of you, are helping today or this month, and we so appreciate that. But there is a whole 11 other months of the year, and so let today be the start of giving back to the community by volunteering in multiple ways. So many of our individuals, so many of our nonprofits that we work with can utilize your sweat and would so appreciate it. So let today be the start of giving something more. And of course, today is our kickoff for our fundraiser, and these dollars make such a difference. And so giving of your money so that we can utilize it to give to those nonprofits. As you mentioned, the partnering, that we can't do it all alone, and so that's why at United Way we work with over 50 different nonprofit organizations. We partner with organizations like the city on our early learning Rapid City effort. We talked about early childhood a little bit earlier and the importance of it, and so finding ways to partner with our businesses in the room, with our local government, with our nonprofits, so that we can all make a difference. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to be with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
We'd of course like to thank Mayor Allender for his perspectives. As reporters, and even as a reporter and meteorologist, we often see the worst of the worst in our community. That's what we respond to frequently, special response team call-outs and car accidents. But all of us have the opportunity here today to be the very best of the best. We've got one more signature sponsor to hear from, Monument Health.
The great thing about living in the Black Hills, it's a community. We're small enough to know each other. We need to take care of each other. And this is a way for us to all contribute to the care that we provide in our community for each other.
The great thing about living in the Black Hills, it's a community. We're small enough to know each other. We need to take care of each other. And this is a way for us to all contribute to the care that we provide in our community.
To get us pumped up and ready to work hard this afternoon, I want to introduce to you Rosellen Reese of the United Way. She's been sending off participants for the month of caring for almost as long as I have been alive. That's a pretty long time, so let's give it up for Rosellen.
What does that song say? Because I'm because I'm because I'm because I'm good. Well, hello. Good afternoon. How's everybody? Are you doing well? All right, everybody stand up. Y'all look kind of, If I can just get you to stand to your feet. Now that's a little better. Now shake yourself and do something. There you go. You know what I got out of that? I got a SMILE from each of you. Have a seat for a moment, please. We've all just sat and listened to what the United Way is and what our purpose is, and you all being a part of that. And in that, the mayor just preached my sermon. I mean, he just took all the nuggets I had. But even though he did that, I have a little bit more to add to that. With all of us sitting here in this room, in our communities, Sturgis, Northern Hills, Southern Hills, all of you guys, we send a shout out to you, knowing that you're a part of this as well. In each community has a heartbeat. And in our lives, all of us have a heartbeat. And guess what? When that ticker lets go, guess what? There's nothing to it. But that's one organ that we take for granted every day. And it's what keeps us going 24/7 until we leave this earth. But in that time that it gives us, we need each other, just as in our bodies, it looks good on the outside, but what is going on inside? So when that ticker starts acting crazy and your heart starts palpitating, like my heart beating real fast right now, we go, whoa, what's the matter, right? Let that thyroid start acting ugly and get off balance. We're like, whoop, what was that? Right, let Arthur all of a sudden want to show up and go, oh, got a pain here. That's because we need every part of our bodies to be able to move, you know? And those things we kind of sort of take for granted, but we can't take each other for granted in our communities because we all need each other. And in helping each other, just like he just said, be it financially, be it in giving of your time, which we all are going to do when we leave here today to go help somebody. And believe it or not, in this life, we gonna need somebody when we get up there too, you know, or when we retire, or when we just can't do it no more. So in your going out today, I want you to think of whoever it is that you're serving, even if you're passing somebody. You know how you, forgive me, when you stop at a stop sign, a stoplight, I should say, do you ever just look out your window to see who's next to you? Or do you watch somebody cross the street, or you're looking at a billboard or whatever? Have you ever thought about what you're thinking when you see that person, or when you're looking at them, what may be going through their lives? You know, but if you smile, the majority of the time, somebody will do the same and smile back at you, right? I was in Wally World this morning because I couldn't sleep because I was worried about y'all. And I was just walking through the store, and I'm always going to be singing or humming a song. And one lady was like, "You mighty happy?" I said, "Yes, I am. Today I'm going in on a song that's called Happy." And so she saw me again in the store. She said, "You still happy?" And I said, "I am." I said, "It's an exciting day." You know, and then she walks away. You know, because I'm walking through the store like this, you know, pepping myself up. So, as they say, laughter, you smile, whatever it is contagious. So when you go out today, I have to do this today, so I need you guys to participate with me. How do you spell smile? How do you spell laugh? How do you spell grin? Grin. Okay, so I heard this thing from a very special person in my life, and I changed the words to it, but I need you to interact with me as I say this. So I'm a musician, so everything is rhythm to me when I'm doing it. So all of us know the Battle Hymn of the Republic, right? Uh-oh, millennials and Gen X's. You know the song, "Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming." All right? So when I say the first part of it, you're going to spell smile like S-M-I-L-E. Can you say that? Do it. Then I'm going to say something else, and you're going to do it again. Here we go. And then when I do it again, you're going to slow it down, and you're going to spell it S-M-I-L-E. Y'all went to camp when y'all were younger, didn't you? All right, so here we go. You ready? Oh, and then after we do that smile, you do it fast 2 times and then slow. And then we're going to do laugh, L-A-U-G-H. You're going to do it fast 2 times, and then you're going to do it slow. And then we're going to do grin, G-R-I-N, grin. And then, you know, you're going to do it slow, G-R-I-N, grin. Get it? Good. All right, here we go. It only takes a moment just to... You will be really happy if you... Just to share, if you really take the time just to share a peace of mind, just... Y'all all right? Now I want you to do it a little bit louder this time. We're going to do laugh, okay? All right. It only takes a moment just to laugh, y'all. Okay, we're going to try that one more time. Okay. It only takes a moment just to... You will be really happy if you really take the time just to give a peace of mind. Just... Y'all all right with me? Now we're going to do grin. Okay, G-R-I-N, grin. You have to say the word grin. Ready? And it only takes a moment just to... You will really be happy if you really take the time just to share a piece of mind. You'll... Hello, somebody. All right. Y'all all right with me? All right, so, okay, I'm going to give a shout out again to our 5 big sponsors. Synchrony, y'all know. We see y'all over there. We appreciate you. BHE, Black Hills Energy. Monument Health. Coral Wharf. Woo! KNBN, News Center 1. All right, so now stand up again. I want you to stand up. Come on, y'all ain't old. Y'all not that old, are you? All right, and to all of you who are watching out there in TV land, media land, whatever you want to call it, we want to say thank you so very much to each of you as we get ready to kick off our United Way campaign for this year, be it in giving financially or giving of your time or just walking and passing somebody saying hi and giving them a smile, a smile, and a laugh is contagious, and believe me, when you grin, somebody else will grin with you. So thank you to all of our sponsors as well, outside of our big 5 sponsors. Thank you all so much for hanging in there with me. I appreciate you all. Take care.
Rosellen, don't go too far. We still need you. Come back. I missed you. Okay. I'd like to have Jamie Renee Parker, who's the former executive director of United Way, and Mayor Allender all come back up for a final and very, very special remark.
So, Rosellen's been doing this a long time, as you've heard, and it's special. I mean, y'all gotta admit, every time she pumps you up, she gets you ready. But this might be her last one on this side of the stage. Granted, we'll get her back into the rolling T's, because that's what happens when you retire, right, Renee? But this might be her last one of coming up here, cheering you on, although I'm sure we'll try to get you to come. So we wanted to do something very, very special to share our appreciation on behalf of everybody in this room, everybody who couldn't be here today, of just everything that you've done for us. So thank you.
Thank you all.
And the mayor has a special proclamation for you.
Behold. I have an executive proclamation that I'll read. Whereas Rosellen Reese was raised by her grandmother in Selma, Alabama, with her 2 brothers. And whereas she first came to the Black Hills while stationed at Ellsworth Air Force Base and relocated to Rapid City after her service to our country due to her strong ties to the community and her church. And whereas Rosellen started at United Way of the Black Hills, serving in many different roles in a career spanning 21 years. And whereas Rosellen has been greeting everyone who walks into United Way's door with a beautiful smile, a hug, and even a song. And whereas through her dedication and passion leading the Month of Caring, formerly the Day of Caring, program, she has matched over 15,000 volunteers to projects making a difference in the lives of individuals, organizations, and communities throughout the Black Hills for the past 20 years. And whereas she has also coordinated the Imagination Library program since its inception in 2002, providing a total of 915,528 books to 76,294 children throughout the Black Hills. And whereas in addition to her work with United Way, Rosellen loves music and plays piano for services and events in her church and for the community. She's also been providing piano lessons for 38 years, giving students the opportunity to experience and learn self-discipline and life lessons that will go with them throughout their lives. And whereas after 21 years at the United Way of the Black Hills, she is still excited about what she does, the communities that she serves, and the people that she helps. Now, therefore, I, Steve Allender, Mayor of Rapid City, South Dakota, do hereby proclaim September 1st, 2022 as Rosellen Reese Day in Rapid City in honor of all of her accomplishments.
I don't know what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to get me to cry. I ain't gonna cry. But I do say thank you so very much, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I have enjoyed every moment that I've had in being a part of this and having you be a part of it with me. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our kickoff. Thank you all so much. For those of you who are going out and doing projects today, drink lots of water, stay in the shade, take care of yourselves. We can't thank you enough for being a part of our special day. So have a great one.
This is what life means. It feels so good to me to know that I